of all of the areas that are needed for life in this village, and all over Haiti, and all over the third world. The issue came face to face with our reality, facing their reality of the effects of global warming and climate change. People don't know anything about that on a political or intellectual level. But this is what the effect has been in this village, and probably in many, many places, that the poor and the agricultural communities are feeling this and experiencing this directly, and it is directly affecting their ability to have life. So they said, sisters, anything that, we need so many things, but we need pumps, we need water wells, and especially in agricultural. If we had even 1 or 2 agricultural wells that would pump water from it's not that deep in terms of the underground streams and sources of water, we could regain the ability to grow our crops, and then we can sell them in whatever markets, we can eat them, and there would be at least an uplifting of the quality of life. There would at least be some hope and some food and some where. Okay, then what happened, this is 2 years ago. So in these 2 years, the first year we explored all kinds of foundations that said they would help with water in agricultural communities and third world communities. None of it, zero, none of it worked out. It was not able to be done. So in 2014, we went back, and we went back very down, very empty-handed, and we said we couldn't find a way to do this, and it was worse. The drought and the lack of rain in the whole countryside was even worse than ever. So we had a meeting, another meeting, and we talked about forming a grassroots organization, which they did, called the Young Youth Group, the Youth Leadership of Cuvier, and it was very faith-based leadership, and they wrote a very compelling letter, an appeal, and we got contacts there with a Mennonite company that digs wells for nonprofits called Blue Ridge Company. And so in the partnerships of the clergy there, of the women and men of faith, with the children, with the leadership, and with this men, we brought this back to our congregation. And we said, we have to do this ourselves. We're going to do this ourselves. And in our fundraising and in our work together with the associate members and with all of us, there was an appeal made specifically, can we raise enough money to build one more people well, water well, for drinking and washing? And can we have this vision manifest that we can create enough funding for this agricultural, which is much more expensive? So we shifted our fundraising from Elizabeth's Place, from the orphanage, temporarily, because this was a matter of life and death. So each well, the drinking wells totaled about, each one is about $8,000 to $10,000. We accomplished that fundraising over last year, and we needed about $25,000 for the one agricultural well, and that includes all of the digging, all the costs, and we have half of that. So what we accomplished, we were so excited when we went down there in July of 2015, because we had the help then of our fundraising, we had the help of the OPSCC community and the funding from there, and especially we had the wonderful gift of 3 Caldwell sisters joining us, and they brought some donations from their parishes and their community. So we just put the whole thing together. And the great news is, while we were down there, we were able to visit Blue Ridge. We got a contract, and we put down payments for the drinking water well and for the agricultural well. And when we left there, the day before we left, the digging of that first drinking well started in the village. And people were weeping, people were hugging each other. They couldn't believe that this miracle of life was happening. And we were just so moved ourselves that something so simple, and actually it doesn't really cost that much. But in that world, it takes so much effort even to get just to buy bread and just to buy a bag of rice. the well began to be dug, which is very beautiful, on the Feast of St. Dominic in August. So they're waiting to do a blessing ceremony, and then they could start using that third well, again, for 5,000 people. The agricultural well is half done. We have they dug the hole, which is much, much deeper. The piping is there. We spent the last penny on the actual pump, and we had to pay Blue Ridge. So we are now at a standstill. We still have to buy a generator. We need to buy piping. We need to pay the Mennonite group an extra amount of money in order for them to complete the work. So we need about $10,000 more to finish the agricultural well. And that's the more urgent well, because it's going to allow the farmers to grow their crops again. So we need help. We need your love. We need support. We need the hands and the hearts of our global family, of our Dominican family, of our families, of people of goodwill. And the issue of climate change is so connected to what are we doing to the whole earth, and the effect on the poorest of the poor and the least of our brothers and sisters. We can turn on our faucets, we can take showers, we don't even have to worry about that right now. But the poor are suffering from what we are doing to the earth. And we can make a difference. We can make the difference in a small village with one well at a time. Water for water. And we have a wonderful idea and vision of selling water bottles. And that money can really go directly into this village, and let us continue building that agricultural well. And maybe we can build a few more in this one particular village.